So we have the results on Proposition 61 in California, and it's not good. So this was, of course, an attempt to have California pay the same for pharmaceuticals as the VA does, and it has been defeated. Now, for those of you who don't know the mechanics of this, the VA is able to negotiate for their drug prices with the pharmaceutical companies, so they get pretty good prices. It's not like they're taking the pharmaceutical companies for advantage and they're getting their drugs for under cost. No, they get good prices, they negotiate the prices, pharmaceutical companies make a profit, it's just not an obscene profit. So that's a model that the rest of the country should abide by, but they don't. Bush made the deal, and then Obama continued the deal of basically making it so that Medicare and Medicaid cannot negotiate for drug prices. So in other words, whatever the pharmaceutical companies say, the government pays. So they're price gouging. They're ripping us the fuck off. Now, California said, yeah, that's cute. Not going to happen here. Our state Medicaid system, we're going to take our state healthcare, and we are going to pass a proposition that says whatever the VA gets, whatever they pay for their drugs, that's what we pay. The most common sense idea ever. Bernie Sanders was campaigning all around California for this specific proposition. Because this is like just a giant step in the right direction to stop price gouging. What happened? Again, it was defeated. Now, why was it defeated? That's the question. Because you're thinking, Kyle, if this is really that simple, as you're describing, how the fuck was it defeated? Very simple. Propaganda. Propaganda, lies. What happened is the drug company spent over $100 million to defeat it. What did the pro side spend? People in favor of Proposition 61? $17 million. Against $100 million. So what did they do? They bought misleading ads that lied about what it would do. Get this, you want to talk about dirty politics? They bought veterans groups. The pharmaceutical companies gave money to veterans groups, and then the veterans groups would go out there and say, yeah, this is bad, and this is going to raise prices for veterans. You're just liars. They were bought. They were corrupt. They were bought off by the pharmaceutical companies, and they just lied. None of that is true. It wouldn't raise prices for veterans. It wouldn't do anything of the sort. It would lower prices for the people. But the propaganda worked. So this is where you're seeing the effect of money in politics. Now, sometimes it's rare, but sometimes it happens. The person with the less money ends up winning. Certainly for president. That's what happened with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Trump raised less money, and he ended up winning. But most of the time, whichever side raised the most money, whether it be a candidate or it be on a proposition or whatever it is, usually the side that raises the most wins. Because then you get your name out there the most, you get your message out there the most, you can mislead people. And obviously this isn't, there are no rules. That you could say anything you want, even if it's totally bogus. You just say anything and you can get away with it. So they lied about the effects of this and it lost. But guess what? They can only pull the wool over people's eyes for so long, man. I mean, I'm very disheartened about this, but in the long term, I actually think I'm optimistic. And I'm optimistic because this got on the ballot in the first place. As long as we could keep getting these sorts of things on the ballot, then eventually, the levees are going to break, man, and we're going to have good things happen. Another thing happening, I think it was Colorado with universal health care. There was a proposition for that. It lost. Again, give it some time. The first time marijuana came up on a ballot, it lost. So, but you see that the trends and the tides moving in favor of progressive values. Marijuana won almost everywhere. All but one state. I think there were 9 states, 5 of them for recreational weed, 4 of them for medical weed, and it only lost in one, Arizona, and it was for legalized. But everywhere else it won. So that one, the minimum wage won everywhere. Everywhere there was a direct ballot initiative on the minimum wage, it won. So it's going in our favor, man. We just got to keep making the argument, keep being aggressive. And all these states that allow ballot initiatives, I got to take a second to thank everybody who organized in the different states to try to get these things on the ballot. Now, I live in New York, for example. New York, we have direct ballot initiative, but it's only when the legislature allows an issue to go to ballot. So there's no process by which the people can petition and then get something on the ballot and then have people vote on it. In some of these states, that's allowed. You can petition to get something on the ballot and then, you can see if it wins. So there's a lot of organizing that goes on behind the scenes to get these really good progressive things on the ballot. I want to give a heartfelt, genuine thank you to everybody who's fighting for these progressive values and putting them on the ballot, because you are literally finding a good loophole in our massively corrupt system. Now, at the end of the day, in some of them, like Prop 61, the corruption ended up defeating you. But again, if you keep getting up the next day and keep fighting, nobody said it was going to get easy. Nobody said it was going to get easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. But at the end of the day, you can win. Well, you think the civil rights people in 1959 thought, yeah, we're going to get this on lock for sure. We got it. No, they thought this might never work. But we're just going to get up every day and keep fighting. And then eventually they won. They made an entire fucking giant system with momentum that was in the direction of racism and black people as second-class citizens. And then eventually they won because they kept fighting. So we can do that with these progressive ballot measures, and we're going to do it moving forward. So even though we lost on this one, fear not. We know why we lost: corruption. So we got to fight that corruption along with trying to get these progressive ballot measures passed.